everybody? This is Heroes and Brews with Nerdy Dudes. We are your friendly neighborhood Beeroes. My name is Ty. Across the internet is Kev. And we have a special guest today. He is the man of many talents. He is the founder, brewmaster, and master roaster of Stolen Sun Brewing Company in Exton, PA. He is Jonathan Zangwill. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
How you guys doing?
Great. How's everything going with you?
Just finishing up a good week, I guess.
Good week.
I don't know. We're kind of like day 8,000 or something in quarantine.
That we are.
I had a countdown and then I gave up.
You forgot. There was a while on social media I was like going like day 20 in captivity. I was taking pictures of me and my dog, and like I was thinking of doing it the other day, and I was thinking like I don't even know what day it started to be able to count, to be able to get to like what actually day we're in.
Right, you got the scratches in the wall, like the people like in jail with a scratching every day in the wall. That's what we're doing nowadays.
That's literally that's what this feels like. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think like we've been doing this, me and my family and the folks that are still at work here, it's just kind of a blur. Like we have like the complete opposite experience of a lot of people because we're actually working 60 hours a week. Like we're still doing it, and it's like there's just a few of us here that are left, but we're making it happen.
And so you are making it happen because we have a beer of the week this week. It came out yesterday. It's your 6 feet of separation. It's your New England IPA, double dry hopped New England IPA, and it's absolutely delicious. We are giving away a 4-pack for those who want to comment and say their favorite beer type, or if you've had the beer, because I've seen a lot of check-ins on Untappd for this already. Let us know your thoughts on it because it's absolutely delicious. It's got the Galaxy hops in it, which I'm a huge fan of. Jonathan, you made a hell of a beer with this.
We made a hell of a beer here. I have my brewer Chris, and behind the scenes, she's the one actually making this happen. Like, we kind of put this stuff together, and then she's working her butt off to make all this delicious beer we got coming out of here right now.
Yeah, and it's exciting to see you guys are doing a lot of new releases because you guys definitely have some great things going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think since we started this. We just started canning not long ago before this. And once this started, we just said, we got a can line. We're going to start moving some cans through here. And we had a bunch of stuff in the works. And actually, this beer started out as a collaboration brew that we were doing with PJ Wellahands.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And we didn't know what the heck to do with this. And like, when we talked to them, it was really about, we're going to make like the most insane, delicious beer. And all this, and it was literally the week before we got shut down, that week of the 13th, we were here with the folks over at PJ's, like brewing the beer. And then got shut down, and we were sitting with this amazing beer, and we're like, we got to do something here. And we just started dry hopping it, and we started like dosing so much ingredients and hops into it. And it just became a thing. And then there's also so this is the double dry hop version. In 2 weeks, we'll have the triple dry hop version that comes out. So we literally transferred half with the double dry hop, and then we dry hopped again. So we're triple dry hopping. So in another 2 weeks, the triple dry hop version comes out.
It's awesome.
For people who don't know, about dry hopping and double and triple, would you mind kind of explaining sort of the process that goes into that?
Sure. I mean, so during boiling, we're adding hops, and the hops usually add bitterness, and they add flavor, and they add aroma when you put them into like hot liquid. A lot of the new kind of generation beers really are about like flavor and aroma and hops. So the bitterness kind of goes away, and we really look to hone in on flavor and aroma. And aroma is really found in the dry hopping of beers. So when we take the hops and add them to the fermenter after the process or during the fermentation process, that's really when we start to extract the flower flavors that come out of the hops. And those flavors can be like citrus notes. They can be pine notes, they can be pineapple, they can be, so a lot of the hops that are super popular these days, like Mosaic and Citra and the Galaxy that we use quite a bit of, they're really all about like pineapple and papaya and mango. And, so like we say juicy beer, people think like we're adding juice to beer. And we're saying like it's an extremely hoppy, juicy beer. And people are like, is it too hoppy? And it's like, it's very like the hoppy and juicy are kind of not people. It's just confusing.
Yeah. We actually have a question from Daniel Delaney. He said, what was your profession before the brewery and what made you decide to start the brewery? And he said Voice of Reason is his fan favorite.
I know. He's here every week drinking our beer. That guy's awesome. My profession right before I was here building the brewery, I was a master roaster for a multinational roasting company.
Nice. And then also,
a local.
My buddy Justin wants to know about the Jay-Z's Hazy beer because it's got his eye right now. And he's a Massachusetts guy, so he's pretty far, but he's interested.
It's amazing. The Jay-Z's Hazy is, my name's John Zangwill, so I'm Jay-Z. It's my hazy.
I love it.
We load the beer with like tons of Mosaic and like it's just a decadent, delicious, juicy beer. And we've been actually moving quite a bit of it, so it's actually done fairly well for us.
That's awesome. We got the real Jay-Z in the house right now. Screw the rapper. This is the real Jay-Z right here. That's right.
This is the real stuff right here. And the beer is amazing. And it has like just great like mango tropical fruit notes to it. It's just an amazing beer. It's really cool to see the progression of where our beers kind of started from, and like where we're at now. And I swear every batch we do here, we're really honing in on exactly the beer that we want to drink.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. What inspired you to start brewing beer? Like, was there a moment in time you can think of where you're like, yeah, I think this is what I want to do for a living, and I'm going to do this. Can you remember a specific time or?
You know what? I actually, so I'm actually from Florida. I went to college at University of Florida, and I was a food engineer out of Florida. Part of like being a food engineer is like you have this senior design project, and I was really into at the time, and this was like 2003, 2002. It was like way back. Almost when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. When this happened. I know. It was right around there. You know what? I'm completely wrong. I can't even like think the Rona has really like deteriorated me. It was actually I don't know how old I am. This is crazy. It would have been like 93.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Way back when craft breweries used to be called microbreweries.
Yes.
That's what I like to call it. So back in like 92, 93, my senior design was based on designing a microbrewery because at the time I had really gotten into like Sierra Nevada. At the time, Sierra Nevada they had a green label, a blue label, and a red label. The pale ale, the porter, and the stout. Mm-hmm. All of them were amazing beers and like mind-blowing from like what was actually available. And I fell in love. Honestly, like Sierra Nevada was the first beer that I drank, and with a lot of people that are like me, and said like, this is amazing. Like this tastes delicious. And so I actually like started doing my studies, and then I met some people in food science, and I started my first batch of beer. I malted my own grain. I was using this grain called triticale. And we were really like, I was designing beers at the college at a time where like no one was doing anything like this. And I forget where we're going with this, but that's kind of like where I fell in love with, where I fell in love with beer. And then I spent like the next 12 years, like, in I guess the first wave of brewing, like building and running, microbreweries and brew pubs. I was in Tallahassee, then I was in Temecula, California, and then I went to Pittsburgh, and then I was in Reading, Pennsylvania, and then I went to Hawaii, and then I was back in Jersey,
my gosh.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
I was all over the place. Like I literally, like at some point when I was at Neversink in Reading, I was living in a bat infested fourth floor of a 1900s hardware store. I was up above Canal Street there. And it's a crazy thing that like I always remember. And like one of the things I always remember about it is like one time my mom actually came to visit and like broke down in tears at some point when she saw like how I was living. But I was living the dream, like I was brewing, I was doing what I love to do. But like it was like not glamorous. It's not as glamorous as it is now. Like, look how glamorous this is.
Yeah, look at all the beers behind you. The taps. You got coffee too. Like
I know. Look what I got. I got cans. I got labels. I got coffee, taps.
Got everything.
There's no bats behind you.
You're right. There are no bats. It is a crazy story, but like I swear to God, it is the truth. It's insane. It's like I look back at that time and just think, I don't really know, like John of today would probably not want to do that. But when I was like 28, 27, I was like, I'm going for it. Like, this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's crazy you say that Sierra Nevada was a beer that you had tasted and was an inspiration. No joke. I was watching a documentary last night, and it was all about California breweries and Sierra Nevada being one of them. And almost every single brewer that they interviewed, Sierra Nevada was the first name out of their mouth. Their pale ale that they had tried, and they were like, at the time, like there was nothing like this. I mean, you had your Miller and your Coors and your Budweiser and everything, and but Sierra Nevada, they were like, whoa, like beer could actually taste like this.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's crazy you say. When you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane. I literally just heard that yesterday from people on TV.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing about Sierra Nevada is at the time where like I'm talking about, I don't think they were brewing 5,000 barrels of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
So there was nothing else. Like literally there was Sierra Nevada, there was Anchor Steam, which I really loved, and like really an iconic brand, but they're kind of, gone. Like I don't even know what they do anymore. Harpoon,
yep.
Then there was very few folks that were actually putting Saranac, had their craft brand at that point. But it was Sierra Nevada that was really like, this is amazing. And every now and then I get a Sierra Nevada on draft, and it really kind of brings me back to that point.
Brings back the memories.
I love that. I love their pale ale. And so speaking of all these breweries, I mean, I feel like every time you turn a corner, there's another brewery opening up, which is
isn't it awesome?
It is awesome.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's like we've always wanted this. But with that being said, with the market, becoming congested and crowded, how does Stolen Sun try to separate themselves from other breweries?
Yeah, I mean, it's not becoming congested and crowded, I don't think.
Oh,
I think just more people are starting to get local. Like, I think we're really starting to think. I think you got a lot of people that are like, think about all the garbage beer that's brewed in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ground for us to capture.
Yeah.
So actually, like we kind of all raise the ship here. Like we're all the great beer that's around us right now. I mean, just like you said, it's a great time to be a beer lover.
It really is.
I mean, as long as people are going to drink beer, which is going to be forever.
Yeah.
The coronavirus has already showed us, like, people love beer. Like, it's not going to stop. Like, people aren't going to stop drinking beer. They never have. Like, even through Prohibition, like, they never have stopped loving drinking beer.
Yeah.
And, like, we're all pushing the boundaries, and we all do different things. We all, like, I don't know what we're known for, but maybe I think we're all kind of known for something, and people want to go and drink that beer. And whether it's, like we don't do the milkshake sort of beer, so we don't do kind of that stuff.
Yeah.
We don't do lagers. We don't, our place is kind of like big IPAs. We brew a lot of IPAs.
Yeah, and they're delicious. I see a lot of New Englands on your menu too, and that's
New England,
my favorite type of beer. And I know there's a lot of people that commented said that New England's their favorite type of beer because it's got a great mixture of that hop and that juiciness, and it just makes for a great taste. And John Barbone said that Pennsylvania is one of the top brewing state, and it really is. I've talked to Kev about this before. I'm originally from Long Island, and it's funny because when I
Strong Island,
Strong Island, yeah.
Right.
But like with the water, because the water is a big part in brewing, and with Long Island, I don't like the IPAs as much as I do from Pennsylvania. Like I can taste that difference of, I don't know if it's from the water or the different styles that there are, but Pennsylvania IPAs are fantastic. I love a lot of Pennsylvania IPAs.
Well, and there's a lot of fantastic brewers that are in Pennsylvania.
Yes, there are.
And I mean, yeah, it's a bit about water. It's a bit about technique. So, I mean, it's hard to really say what it is. But Pennsylvania has amazing brewers in it. It really does. I mean, it's got a strong tradition of making great beers. That's what's cool about being around here, right? I mean, you can get any type of beer you want around here. And I don't even really know of many that are like, that I consider bad.
Yes.
I don't know of any. Like back in the first wave of brewing, when I was brewing in the 90s, like there was a lot of downright bad beer.
Yeah.
I didn't make any, of course. I always made the best beer.
It was always great beer.
I always made the most fantastic beer, but there was a lot of bad beer in the 90s. I mean, and right now I think like just with the information available, I think that just, it's amazing what's going on right now. I mean, just with creativity, classic styles, future styles, like everything all over the place. It's amazing what's going on in the business right now.
Yeah, and John Barbone said you're one of the best of them too. He's throwing you some good clout.
Awesome.
And then so we also have a comment from Laura. What brought you to PA?
So I was in Pennsylvania twice. The first time was I built this brewery in Pittsburgh called the Foundry Ale Works, and that was like in '96. And then I was in Reading. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of great brewers there, and that's where I was at Flying Fish way back when, and then I went to. Then there was Corporate John. Mm-hmm. Corporate John lived in Pennsylvania for a while, and I traveled all over the world working for like multinational food companies, and it was insane. So I guess beer brought me. I don't know.
That's
I love it here though.
It is a good answer. PA's got fantastic beer.
We've lived like 2 blocks from not 2 blocks, half a mile from the brewery for about 15 years.
Awesome.
And we're a family business. I have 2 boys, wife, like we live, like this is our local community. We've been here for a long time. I consider us locals at this point, but
so they're gonna be big beer drinkers when they grow up.
They're already big beer drinkers.
Hell yeah, let's go.
That's the right.
No, I'm just kidding. They're not old. But they love beer. They love beer, and they love what we're doing, and we all kind of work together. And during the shutdown, when I didn't really have folks to work with, like the boys jumped in. Dylan jumped in the kitchen, and my younger son Zane was helping me in the front of the house. My wife Deirdre, like we all just kind of worked together. We figured out like. This became like a real family business. We don't have any, like, it's just our family. We don't have any investors here. We just kind of are hardworking folks that decided one day we wanted to do this, and we were able to get, small business loans and make this happen.
Yeah, it makes some more.
A lot of other people that are in the same exact, shoes that we're in. And it's crazy.
Great story.
It makes it more special, because it's homegrown, and it's like your family's putting all this work into these beers, and they're coming out great. And like that makes for a great story too. And that's, more support for you guys, because to hear that, like, I want to come to you guys more often.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, it is a family business here. It's a small business. we're doing the best that we can during this time to kind of
I love it.
stay afloat. Yeah.
These and that's the thing, with more and more breweries coming up. I love like the camaraderie and their care about the community, and it does feel like you're a family. When you're a part of it, it's almost like, to me, it's like going down to like your local tavern kind of thing, and that's a big thing about breweries that I love the most. I love the family atmosphere. We're all here for one thing, and yes, that's beer. But we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the individuals that come to the facility to taste the beer, to try the beer, they're passionate about that. You're passionate about brewing it, and then when everybody comes together, it's an awesome family atmosphere. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's a bit about that, and it's also about just people go out and have fun at their local pubs. Like, that's the way that it's always been, and it's always been family pubs. So like, when you look at the history of brewing and the history of beer and taverns, and that's exactly why people have always come back to their local like taverns. It's about family. It's about camaraderie. It's about sharing a beer, sharing a drink. Yeah.
It's awesome.
And speaking about favorites, Jared Hamill said he really enjoys the Jumpy John's Java Stout and wants to know if there's gonna be more variants.
So the thing with Jumpy John's, and I think with a lot of our beers actually, is we play around quite a bit. So like in Jumpy John's is our coffee stout that's infused with it's our oatmeal stout infused with coffee. We always put some Hello Darkness, which is the darkest blend that we roast here. We always put that into our mash. And then we play around with some of like the unicorn tears that we roast here, or some of just like the very high end coffees that we roast here. We throw those into the cold phase. So I guess that beer is always kind of changing.
Nice.
Awesome.
But it's always amazing. I mean, I love our, Jumpy John's. It's such like a flavorful, and the cool thing about it is we go to Origin. A lot of these Origins, we buy the coffees and then we roast the coffees and then we brew the beer and then so it's a true like, farm to table product for us.
That's awesome.
We got a funny comment from Jess. He said, "Wait, did you say unicorn tears?"
Unicorn tears. Yes.
Real unicorn tears.
Real unicorn tears. So unicorn tears is actually our very rare coffees that we purchase. And so like a lot of these coffees, literally there's just a handful of bags in the world. And we try to procure like the finest coffees, and then we kind of label them as unicorn tears. This blend we have it's not actually a blend. This coffee we have right now comes from Sumatra, and it's a wet hold honeyed coffee, which is a couple processes you never kind of see together, but it's just a super sweet. It's got some winey notes to it, some almost like Thai lime notes to it. So it's got some really high citrus notes, and just incredibly unique coffee.
That sounds awesome. And we were talking off camera. I am not a coffee guy, and since you've been describing your coffee, I can't wait to come to your brewery and try your coffee. Obviously, I'm going to drink your beer, but I'm going to transition into coffee as well, which I never thought I would ever say before. But I can't help it. I'm going to have to do it for sure.
Yeah, and can you explain more about like how you find your coffee and stuff? Because you said you were traveling a bunch, and you go to local farms in those countries and find like the legit coffee, like I guess beans, correct?
Yes, beans. So I mean. The first thing that I always try to let people understand, and again, if you don't know anything about coffee, this is good. If you do, just shut your volume off. Yeah. Just shut your volume off, because what I'm about to tell you is a complete lie. Yeah, just kidding. So coffee is grown on a tree, and it's a piece of fruit. So think about like a Bing cherry that has like this sweet flesh on the outside, and it's got a seed in the middle. That seed is coffee. not the Bing cherries are coffee. So, I mean, the first thing is like coffee comes from a sweet piece of fruit. So kind of as we talked about earlier, you know, what we really try to embrace here with a lot of our coffees is like, how do we get the flavor of what the farmer has done at origin to like kind of make this coffee bean come out of this piece of fruit and then get this green bean to us into a form that I can then roast. So like 99% of the work's been done to this coffee before I even get it. Like the farmers are amazing in this whole process. Like without great green coffee, like what I do is completely meaningless. So like really what we look for is like really selecting coffee from farms and from growers that are taking care of their coffees, making them, you know, high quality Arabica and, you know, getting us, you know, what we call here, you know, amazing Arabicas. Like that's like really, you know, what we're looking for. And when we select coffees, we're pulling needles out of haystacks. Because like I think, you know, so I go to Origin. We go to like a farm in Origin, right? Mm-hmm. And that farm can be, you know, a couple hours drive for us. So we then end up driving like another like 2-3 hours away to go to the next farm, right? Well, guess what's between that 2 or 3 hour drive? It's all coffee. Yeah. We're just driving through coffee that we're not able, because it's a very like relationship based business, but like, you know, it's really about relationships and it's about finding those like grower partners that like are actually like doing what, you know, they're caring for what we need them to care for so we can get the products and make, you know, the amazing coffees we make. And doing that, like we end up, you know, making sure that we, you know, compensate those farmers, you know, with fair pricing. And, you know, most of our coffees that we buy are all fixed price coffees, which mean that farmer goes into growing and knows that like he's going to do things the right way and he's going to grow us really good coffee and we're going to buy that coffee. And if for whatever reason, growing seasons, like once we gain that relationship, like people are going to have bad seasons. We're still going to buy those coffees.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really about these relationships we're getting and meeting folks. And like, I get to also meet lots of great other roasters. We drink a ton of beer. We get drunk. We're in foreign countries. Right before the virus like hit here, before they shut everything down, I was in Guatemala the week before. So like on the 7th of March, I had just gotten back from Guatemala to buy a lot of coffee that I brought back here. And, but like, that's what we do. Like, it's amazing from like the different roasters. It's the same as brewing. Like I hang out with, you know, we have so many brewing friends. They're all amazing. I have so many roaster friends. They're all amazing. Everyone seems to love beer a lot more than coffee, but we all love coffee too. We all need that coffee. Like, you know, the difference between coffee and beer is like, you know, I can't go a day without coffee.
So we have a bunch of comments. So one, do you ship your coffee? Because my buddy from Massachusetts wants to know. Paige said Quack of Dawn was delicious. Joe Renaud, I think, said the coffee is just as good as the beer. And Jess said, I did not know coffee grows on a tree or that it has fruit around it. And I've been on this earth for 29 years.
Isn't that nuts? Isn't that nuts? It really is crazy. Like if you see like, it's mind blowing. And that's kind of why I always like start with that, like coffee's a piece of fruit, because most people think of coffee as a like burnt, ashy, acidic. Like they talk about words of acidic, which acidity is a completely different thing. We could go on for hours on acidity.
Yeah.
They're calling it what they call acidic is actually bitter. Because like the man has taught us to like love over roasted coffees.
Yes.
So when you have the thought of like, like a lot of our coffees that we roast are like the IPAs of coffee. They're going to have like discernible fruit characters that you can pull out of them. They're going to have luscious, like milk chocolate roasty notes in them. They're spectacular. I mean, really, our coffee is amazing, and I'm 100% biased, just for the record.
I like
I
when
think
you.
our coffee's.
Sorry. Continue with that. Ready?
That's all right.
Cheap
I'm
plug.
saying I'm biased.
So I like the analogy you said before when we were off camera, how you compared it to, getting a fillet and then completely burning it, how the man makes us drink this dried out coffee. And that's not, like you said, it's not the way to do it. Yeah.
Well, you know what's really weird is like coffee is a very like a geographical and historical drink where when you look at like a lot of the different like brewing methods that have developed around the world, it usually comes from like depression and poor countries where they're kind of trying to extract the most out of the coffee as possible. And like I remember growing up and my grandparents had the percolator that they had running. And again, I'm growing up in the 70s, like when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. And they would have these coffee makers that were percolators that would literally like keep the water flowing over the coffee all day long. And they would like fight over that last cup of like just dirty tar water that they drank out of there. And that's what coffee was. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, and that's kind of the hard part is like what we do and trying to get folks to understand that like coffee can actually be an amazingly delicious, juicy product. And our coffees are just that. And we also I make Hello Darkness, which is our darkest blend, which has dark roast attributes to it, but they're not ashy. They're not like burnt, but they're more like dark chocolate, baker's chocolate, like those chocolatey notes that give a big body behind the coffee. But this is a beer podcast.
That leads me into my next question. Well, is your first love beer or is it coffee, would you say?
I think my first love was beer, is beer. I don't really know. But I think like coffee, like I guess it's just very different. Like I'm lucky that I've been able to actually like get over to see where coffee's grown. Mm-hmm. So I think part of that really connects me to coffee and connects me to like what coffee is and what coffee can be.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's hard to say. I built this business that I have here to brew beer and to roast coffee. And I'm super thankful for that. And I am, every time we put anything out, as folks that work, with me will tell you, it has to meet that quality standard that like I want. Yeah. What you'll notice also is we have a lot of products that have John in the name of them.
You just love yourself. You love yourself.
It's insane. I mean, it's completely insane. I mean, like, my wife jokes sometimes she'll be like, she does a lot of the, she's in with me every day here doing a lot of the ordering on the phone. And sometimes people order like everything John, like the John smoked pork, the Jay-Z's hazy, the Jumpy John. So like, it's like she almost needs a bell to ring every time everyone's like, it's crazy.
It's the trifecta. It's the food, the coffee, and the beer. You do the John trifecta.
It's crazy. They're just like, if you order everything with the name John in it, you get like a special bonus here. But I mean, it's what I love. It's what, and it's like the people that know me, like it genuinely is like, this is what I, drink, eat, breathe, whatever. Like it's 100%. It's really all about everything we put out in this place. And it's super important to me that like everything we do is as good as we possibly can do it.
And to bounce off that, I think what I saw was October 12th would be 2 years, right? How has that ride been with all the hats that you wear?
October 12th. Is it October 12th?
I think I think I read that. I was doing some research.
You may have. I think it's around there.
Yeah, because I saw your anniversary date on your event last year was October 12th. so I'm
Oh.
assuming it's around there. I could be wrong.
It could be.
But how
I
has
have a very bad memory.
It's okay. Same. That's why I do my research, getting into things.
Uncle John is very hazy. Uncle John is super hazy. Is the problem?
But how has the ride been? Because it's coming up on 2 years, with the brewery. How has that been?
It's been crazy. It's been, it's a lot more challenging than one would think.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of different spokes in this business between roasting, brewing, the restaurant. Every day is an adventure. You know what? It's hard to even think before this whole COVID-19 thing.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this has put everyone in a tailspin. I mean, it's made everyone change, and it's not just the breweries. It's it's a lot of the restaurants that we partnered with before for beer. It's the whole industry as a whole is, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, and thank God for the support of all the folks that have, come to, drink our beer, buy our food. They've been living on our coffee. It's a crazy time. I mean, it really is. It's a tough business to be in. It's a very tough business to be in. And everyone out there, when you go to your brewery and drink your beer from a small brewery like any brewery really, but really from a lot of, be thankful for it's a lot of work. We didn't go home. I didn't get to go home for 3 months. I've been basically living here. My family's been here. My brewer, my GM's been here. We've been doing everything we can do to keep our beer, to keep our business afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah, amen to that. And a big props to you
crazy.
Guys. It is. But a lot of work.
It's not just us. It's like any local brewery is. I don't want to say we're everyone is in the same boat here.
Yes.
We really are. We all got shut down. We all dealt with figuring out, how do we get ingredients? How do we get food? How do we get this? I'm standing in line getting, pork butts from, wherever. We're just all trying to eke out the little bit of living that we possibly can. And I mean, super thankful that people are trusting in us to realize we're trying to be as safe as we can be through this, that we're trying to let them have an enjoyable life while we bust our ass here. Because people are coming in, they're getting their beer, they're getting their coffee, they're getting their food, they're letting us take care of them. And all the breweries and restaurants, we're all in the same boat here with this.
Yeah. And what I picked up here from you guys do it in a very safe way. You bag the beers, you got the mask on, the gloves on. So you guys do a very good job at making sure people get, their beer in a safe manner, which is awesome during this time.
Well, it's not just, it's also about us being safe too.
Yes.
So, it's, as we kind of get through this, it's all about all of us trying to do our thing so we can get out of what we're doing now.
Yes.
That's, it's a scary thing. Next week, we're getting ready to open up outdoors.
Yeah. So that's a good segue. I would love to know, are you guys June 5th outdoor dining? Are you guys going to open up for the outdoor dining portion or?
So, we have an awesome outdoor area here, and those people that are, have been here since the beginning know that we have this whole outdoor area that you have no idea you're right in the middle of Exton, we call it deep in the heart of Exton. And so when we got into this, we actually really started saying all right, when people get out of this, how do we want, it almost gave you a pause button to hit pause and go, how do you want your business to be? So I think, coming into we actually invested a lot of the money that we've been, bringing in over the last couple months, and we've started buying more tables for the back. We actually bought a bunch of great tables for the back area of our place. and we started putting, so we have this really like cool outdoor area at this point that we're ready to kind of get people into and hopefully bring people in a safe way that we can all enjoy beer and enjoy our families and enjoy safety and enjoy everything we possibly can. It's a crazy time. It really is, like, to think of like I'm just a brewer and I'm just a roaster and I'm an engineer and I'm a business owner and I'm a like all these different hats that I wear, but like I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, and like thank God for those folks.
Yes.
But like it's a weird time where it's like how do we maintain like the government and the Pennsylvania, they're expecting all this stuff out of us. And to be honest, like we're going to do the best that we can. And we are brewers, so we love sanitation. Like we're all about clean here. So like that's a good thing. But like really, if we weren't like brewers, like we're trying to create a safe environment for this invisible whatever's going on. And it's insane. Like, so all these people are going to be opening up, like trying to do the best that we can, but it's a bit of a scary time for, I think, everyone to figure out how do we do this? How do we do this right? How do we make sure that you guys are feeling safe in being out and you're able to enjoy yourselves without like wearing your mask all the time, wearing your, and the government's put all kinds of regulations on us that I guess is good. I mean, someone's got to, right? Or else it's just mayhem and people are getting really sick.
Yeah.
But like how do we do the best for us, for our employees, for, our customers? Like it really is crazy. So like, we have to shrink down the business we can do, and then we got to increase all of our costs for doing, sanitizer is like 10 times as much as it used to be. We need, masks, we need gloves, we need it like the costs for doing business are just going to skyrocket. And, that's a scary time and just in business. I mean, the costs are going to skyrocket. And at some point, people are going to be eating a $25 hamburger and complaining about it. But like, I can barely get meat. I can barely get, like, what are the restaurants supposed to do? Like right now, everyone's holding steady and we're trying to keep our costs because we realize like, people are in the same boat as we are. But like at some point, like what happens?
Yeah, what do you do? I know
it's a terrible like cultural thing. It's not a brewing thing. It's just like in another 3 months, like where do we get meat from? Like I don't know. It's a scale. Like, is it available? Is it not available? Is our business going?
I know the unknown is terrifying. And who knows? I know it's scary. It's crazy. I mean, how do you even like prepare for something like this? I don't know if you even can. It's just that there's so many questions and
we do spend a lot of time here talking about and from day one, and that's why we kind of rebuilt our backyard area. We've really thought about like what's gonna and I guarantee you every brewery, every restaurant, there's nothing special about us. But like we've had a lot of time to sit around and talk about like, well, how are we going to serve people? How are we going to, how are we going to make sure like people are safe? How are we going to make sure we're safe? How do we make sure that things are clean?
Yeah, sure. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot of questions because, it's a lot of things to think about, especially when, you're trying to keep your employees and yourself safe as well as, your customers safe. So it's going to be a process for everyone to learn. But I think, especially within Chester County, our numbers have been low for the most part. I think Chester County's done a very good job of, quarantining and social distancing. And I think that's what's going to make it better for us as a community within this county because we've done a good job already. And I think we'll continue to do a good job as well.
It's long overdue for us to be able to allow people to kind of enjoy our outside spaces here.
Yeah.
I mean, our businesses are dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's no, it's no, with all the government intervention and all the, like, our businesses are struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why
I mean,
we're
everyone.
yeah. Well, that's why me and Kev we're very big into supporting local. We do what
Absolutely.
we want because we do what we can to support local because what we have around us is very rare. I think, in my opinion, is very rare. And to have you guys give us this delicious beer, we don't want that to go away. So we're big advocates. Like, seriously, everyone watching, like, buy Stolen Sons beer. It's delicious. And, we want them to strive. We want them to be successful because we don't want them to go away. I looked at your menu. I see thievery fries and I see it's, bacon, ranch, and cheese. And I'm like, I want this all.
Exactly. Who doesn't want that?
I'm like, I'm about to steal that from your kitchen over there and just bring it home. I saw that. I'm like, I need these thievery fries right now because that is what I want in a fried platter. I want ranch. I want cheese. I want bacon, like a chicken bacon ranch, but no chicken, fries instead. And that's what I want.
and that's awesome to hear because, like, when we started, like, figuring out, like, what do we want, who we are and what do we want to be, it came down to that primitive. We want to create those foods that, like, if I'm at a bar drinking, I want to eat.
Yes.
Like, it really, like, that really drives my, olfactory, cheesy fries with bacon. Come on.
It's the
Who doesn't want that?
What goes better
or
with
even like our, like, black bean and cheese dip. That's just like chips and
amazing.
Like, we make these, like, foods that, for me, and I should, everything we do is stuff that I love.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. It's terrible because that's why we name everything after me.
It's John's bean and cheese dip.
That's it. Yeah, completely. Why not? If you own this business, you would do the same thing, right? You would name everything after yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I love doing these interviews because, I love, for beer lovers who are watching or listening and, they get to hear the insight of, how their favorite breweries are, how they started off and the process, how they come up with their, designs and their flavors and everything like that. But at the same time, especially during a time like this, it allows, breweries and small businesses to speak out, and that's why I'm so glad we're doing this during a time like this, because you can really share your story and people can understand that, you have families, you have people that you need to take care of. And for people who are really into craft beer, support your local breweries. Do your part, do whatever you can, to make sure that they stay in business and they continue to brew the beer that you love. So that's why I love doing these interviews for that. It's awesome.
Cool. It is awesome. And, like, there's a lot of folks just like me that are just, they live, breathe, eat. Like, this is what drives them.
Sure. Yeah. It's awesome.
And it's a great job to have. I have a great job.
Yeah. You do. Yeah, you do. I'm very jealous.
It's hard working and probably very stressful at times. It's probably stressful at times, very hard working, but I wish I could brew beer because that's what I would love to do. I know I will never get there, but to own a brewery and be able to, take your part in creating craft beer, I'm envious of that. Not the hard stuff, just that part.
And that's what's cool about the people that work for me is, like, they really, like, the folks that work for me and stay working for me, because I'm not the easiest person to work for. I'll be the first one to say that. But the people that are extremely passionate, love what they're doing, are completely dedicated to what they do, and that's really, been a challenge up to get, like, to the staff that we have now, and then that hopefully we're going to kind of, like, bring back and kind of keep the business going. But really, it's really about, like, building that culture of people that understand why everything that gets put out should be as good as it possibly can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Evan said he's gonna get an order of the Triple Johns or the John Sampler. Your John trifecta. He's ready for it.
Yeah, there is. There's like multiple. We have Jumpy John's now, Jay-Z's Hazy. What else? Oh, Uncle John's over here, Jumpy John's, and then we also just put out. Every now and then we kind of get to the corners of our coffee bags of like our insanely good coffees, and I kind of just mix them all together, and I do like just a fun roast, and we call that Uncle John's beans.
It's awesome. I love it.
Sorry. Uncle John's blend, not beans, Uncle John's blend. And like this one here has coffee from Gustavo in Colombia, has coffee from Costa Rica, and has coffee from Kenya. Like amazing blends. And, you know, it's just, this will never happen again.
Do you hear that, people?
So buy it now. I might buy it right now.
There's probably only like 20 bags left.
All right. Well, I know what
A lot of our
ordering.
coffees are insane, but like it's kind of cool to just like play around, and so we end up like doing a lot of like great coffees. When we get down to the bottoms of like stuff people, then we just kind of mix them and we make this blend, and it's awesome. Love it.
So we have
It's like a true like jam beer.
So
or jam coffee.
We have another question from Laura's mom. How'd you come up with your name,
mom?
Stolen Son? It's his wife's mother wants to know how you came up with the name.
Gotcha. So my son Zane, who was probably 9 at the time, I guess, or maybe 10, he had written a song about a day where the sun was behind the clouds and making the most of the day. And we had been like, I left brewing back in 2006 or 2007, somewhere around there. And we had been looking to like build a brewing company at some point, and then we kind of let it go, and with kids and family and everything else. And then he, you know, the original name was supposed to be Revolution Ale Works, which is actually what our corporation name is. And so we kind of felt like it wasn't the right time for Revolution, because Revolution was like back in 2006, 2000, like right around that area. And he came up with Stolen Son, and I looked up and said like, hey, the website's available. I love the name, and it kind of like gave me that visual like of making the most of my time. Like I spent a lot of time working for other people, working for large corporations, small businesses, like always running people's business and making people a lot of money.
Corporate John.
And Corporate John. And when it came up and he was like, what about Stolen Son? I'm like, that's awesome. And it kind of reminds me, you know, I always kind of envisioned just kind of making the most of my time when I could. Well, you know, I was doing other things, working for other people, and now I get to kind of, you know, show what I can.
I love it. Yeah, especially I love the logo too. It's perfect.
Yeah.
The sun with the you know, the hop leaves around it. It's perfect. Absolutely.
So
perfect.
I have my graphic guy Corey Danks down in Philadelphia. This guy is amazing. Like I think we probably had like a you know, an interesting, trying time when we kind of revamped the logo early on, and then like through the first couple labels, you know, it was a little bit touch and go. But like honestly, the guy's amazing. You know, we have a short conversation on the kind of the theme of what we're looking for, and he knocks it out of the park.
He does.
He's an amazing artist. Like Corey is, you know, we are super thankful that we kind of landed on that guy. I mean, our beer labels are amazing. Like they really are. Like the 6 feet of separation is just awesome. These hop characters that we've been building
with the mask, it's perfect. It's so good.
It's insane.
I love it. The little like the mask that they have on, he's got a tape measure so they make sure they're 6 feet apart. I love the details of the hops. You know, on the legs, you can actually see the kneecaps. which is fantastic.
Yes.
I
So one of our friends, customers, fans, Christy Beal, she actually helped us develop the hop character like early on when we had started kind of like building the place. We're in the midst of that. She had started putting together a bunch of different stuff for us, and those hop characters kind of grew from that. And Corey's they've kind of worked together, and then. If you look at our Sunny Wheat label is all designed by Kristen. So it's been amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, we've had some great collaboration. And yeah, I mean, like all these things, like Voice of Reason label. I'm just like picking up beers I'm drinking. Like this is a new one that he just did. This is a double that's like 8.4 loaded with Galaxy. It was a beer that I brewed for my wife on her birthday, and it's really cool, like because her title is actually Voice of Reason because she kind of reins me in a bit, like she's the voice of reason, like not me, I'm the voice of insanity.
My wife too.
Kind of reins it in, but it kind of like gave us this whole thing, like we have this strong beer of like making a very like woman positive beer of like of just the power that kind of reigns in from that. So I think it's really amazing. And we kind of like put the Corey actually found a like an idol and made it into kind of our voice of reason.
It's cool.
So it's amazing. It's awesome. I
Uh,
showed you guys our Sweet Tang labels that are coming out next week. We have our release of our Goza that is sweetened with Tang, and it is a amazing like Goza, like just an awesome Goza. So we're putting this in cans for the first time, and it just happens to coincide when we're allowed to open up the outdoors, which is going to be amazing because
I'll be there.
Hopefully we'll have some super hot weather, and you'll be drinking like this amazing sweet Tang coming off the
can't wait
out of the cans. Yeah.
Next Saturday's my birthday, so that's where I'm headed. That's where
awesome.
I will be there. So I'll be trying the beers, enjoying some thievery fries. I'm excited for that.
Well, hopefully it doesn't rain.
No, it's supposed to be sunny. It's supposed to be 75.
Is it?
Partly
Okay.
cloudy.
I haven't even looked at the weather.
I have.
Hopefully it's gonna. Oh, good.
It's my birthday. I got to be ready for what's to come.
That's awesome. And what's Friday look like? My worst nightmare is like Friday we're allowed to be open. It's like pouring. Everyone's out in the outdoors. We're like, this sucks.
I don't know Friday. Jared Hamill says he needs a tin tacker. I'm not sure what a tin tacker is, but he says yeah. Jared, if you could explain what that is, that'd be great.
I know, Jared. I just don't know what a tin tacker is.
I don't know either. But yeah, I'm excited to be able to enjoy your stuff in your outdoor area. It's labels. He said labels?
Oh, labels. It's like an inside joke or something?
I don't know. You know what? It might be, and my memory's just terrible. And I apologize 1,000 times. Tin tacker. It's probably some crazy thing I said at some point, and I just don't remember. And I do this all the time. If you knew me, you would know, like, oh, yeah, he's just forgotten. He's an old man.
That's all right. It's the end of the week. But if you don't know what tin tacker is, then
I don't even know what the week is. What week is it? Is it what is the end of the week anymore? Is that Sunday? Is it Monday?
I don't know.
Tuesday?
What are days of the week?
It's yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know. Isn't it crazy when you actually like have to wake up and go like, what day is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And then when you're like, I've showered, right?
I never have to ask myself that question. The answer is always no.
Well, there you go.
I love it. But it's been an hour. I think it's a good time to wrap this up. It's been a great conversation, John. It's been awesome having you here. For those watching, please, if you haven't already, check out Stolen Sun in Exton. They got delicious beer. if you enter the contest, we got this 4-pack up for grabs. You got, your last few minutes to comment.
I hope I win it.
You gotta comment. Make sure you comment your favorite type of beer, or
comment. I want to win that.
Or your or
that stuff's delicious.
Or what you think about
me,
this.
it's
Seriously, so like I said, enter the contest by tomorrow. I'll make sure we have it up to see who won. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure, and as always, cheers.
Cheers, everyone.